Hello, and welcome to the USC School of Architecture virtual celebration for the class of 2021. The University of Southern California acknowledges that this virtual event is taking place throughout the unceded territory of California, home to nearly 200 tribal nations. As we begin this celebration, we acknowledge and honor the original inhabitants of our various regions. A land acknowledgement is a critical step towards working with Native communities to secure meaningful partnerships and inclusion in the stewardship and protection of their cultural resources and homelands. Let's take a moment to honor these ancestral grounds that we are collectively gathered upon and support the resilience and strength that all Indigenous people have shown worldwide. USC is located on the traditional unceded territory of the Kizh and Tongva peoples. It is a great honor to welcome graduating students, parents and guardians, family and friends, faculty and staff today. Please welcome the Della and Harry McDonald Steen Chair in Architecture, Milton S. F. Curry.
Graduating students, family, and friends, this is an important milestone and an important occasion. This past year, you have proved resilient. You have become engaged in the health and well-being of colleagues and strangers alike, woven together by a common destiny in the face of a global pandemic. We have collectively endured some of the most disruptive assaults on our democracy and on institutions of justice in the history of our nation. You have become socially and politically engaged in the future of your world and have been afforded the reflection, burnished by struggle, to decide how you want to impact the world. The USC School of Architecture is a premier global design school, a 21st century global platform for instruction, research, and creative production on cities and landscapes, architecture and urbanism, buildings and technologies, histories and theories about the built and design environment at all scales. Since its establishment in 1919, over 100 years ago, the school has been a place for individual invention and has graduated architects whose eclectic way of thinking and groundbreaking personal narratives symbolize the school's rigorous yet pluralistic pedagogies. Today, our school, our students, and our faculty are advancing knowledge by invoking architectural thinking to propel their ideas into actionable projects. And today we unleash into the world a new group of graduates. Graduates who will go on to lead our nation and world in developing better problems in order to forge more sustainable solutions to our common challenges. Our USC Architecture class of 2021 will be indelibly marked by their resilience of character and personal resolve in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. With that distinction, you will also be challenged to carry the weight of the moment, not as individuals, but as a collective, to shoulder the weight of responsibility and a simultaneous call to action. Just as our ancestors rose to prominence, not by being star architects, but by being exceptional human beings, trying to anticipate through design what the world needed and what kinds of buildings, landscapes, and environments would help future human beings thrive. I look forward to all of the great work that you all will do. Thank you and fight on. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Each year, the graduating students elect one of their classmates to represent them at the end of the year and present some remarks. This year, undergraduate student Marshall Davis was selected for this honor. Marshall?
Wow. We did it. We're finally here. So let me start by simply saying, congratulations. Now, there are many things that can be talked about in a graduation speech. I could give some famous quote by some famous author in some obscure book to really hone in on the message for the speech. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to talk to you all about what we just went through in this past year alone. So let me start back in March 13th, 2020. The day I arrived back home from a cancel study abroad program in Italy. Also, the day the US declared COVID-19 a national emergency. and 2 days before you all began a spring break that would never end. We didn't even know if school was going to come back or not. And an actual petition was started to cancel the semester outright and just pass everyone. Spoiler alert, Carol said no. But those first few weeks back in Zoom University of Southern California were pretty great. We didn't have to get out of bed. We didn't have to change out of our pajamas. And we could even eat in class without getting in trouble. It was phenomenal. And then March became March and stayed March and somehow was still March. And then May 25th, 2020. A video was circulating around the world about a Black man being murdered by those who are supposed to protect us. That man was George Floyd. As a Black man, I was emotionally done, mentally spent, and just physically tired to see another act of injustice happen to my people. But so was the rest of the world. The rest of the world was tired of seeing the same old, same old. The rest of the world was done hearing the same tragic story in a different place. The rest of the world responded to such an act of injustice and made their voices heard. And I think that's what I want you guys to take from this speech today. For your voice to be heard. And whatever you do, whether that be architecture or film, graphic design or creative writing, photography or politics, whatever it is, I want you to speak out against any injustice you see with the work that you do. Because we're trained to be architects, but we're all born designers. And as designers, we communicate through our creations. So make sure that those creations speak as clearly and as strongly as you hear my voice today. We're not going to be ready for everything. COVID-19 taught us that. One thing I do know is we sure are going to be heard. So thank you. And congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Marshall. This year, graduate student Chelsea HECKENKAMP was elected to present some remarks on behalf of our graduate students. Chelsea?
Family, friends, staff, faculty, alumni, and guests, thank you for coming to celebrate with us today and for supporting us all along this journey. Fellow students of landscape architecture, historical conservation, building science, and architecture, well, we are finally in it. This transition we have been anxiously awaiting, this fleeting threshold between absorption and finally action. This is the occasion we dangled in front of ourselves at 3 a.m. before big deadline, when our computer inevitably blue-screened. Maybe our fingers were glued to the table with MaxiCure, and we couldn't string together a coherent sentence despite having consumed excessive amounts of caffeine. Our time together has been both shorter and longer than we could have imagined when we first stepped into Watt Hall for boot camp. There have been moments of compression, all-nighters with quick naps in the hammock, Watt 1, or our parked cars, the mad scramble March 2020 to move everything online, the 2 stalls in the women's bathroom on the 2nd floor, the intensity of engaging with leaders in our field sitting right next to us at our desks, and for some, presenting a project in under 5 minutes from our beds or closets, often while our housemates carried on in the background. There have also been moments of tension, the steady, plodding advance of time, leading up to mid and final reviews or exams, the darkness of 3rd floor Watt, the isolation of studying without that group of people who always happen to be in the building at the same time as us, the stiff quiet of packed tables in Helen-topping library on any given weekday, and the silence of a campus devoid of people as we regularly trekked home in the dead of night. Our experience has been different from those who have graduated before us, and even those who will graduate after us. Our scalar reference during this foundational time went from the 5-foot lengths of Watt's waffle slab to 13-inch monitors and whatever happened to be in the space where we could quarantine ourselves safely. We have spent roughly equal amounts of time establishing a bond with our classmates and instructors, and then being asked to transpose, with the help of a very supportive staff, the spirit of this collaborative experience to a virtual environment. Together, as a school, we learned just how much was missing when we were mediated by a screen. And while I would stop short of saying it is a gift, this is an experience that we will bring with us into the next rapidly approaching phase of our lives. We are resilient. We are adaptable. We understand intimately the importance of people listening, communicating, and working together, that there is power in the collective. It is, however, at thresholds like these that I can't help but pause and stare in the mirrors, angling back through the other transitions in my own life. It is here that the illusion of a single continuous thread breaks down, and while space acted as the backdrop for these memories, it is the people that suggest a center and give them definition, meaning. Moments with people. And in the future, as I look through a mirror angled back through this present, even more than the intensity of the program or the work, I will remember the person who offered me tea at the start of a long night, the cheerful greeting from the morning regular as I walked through the door, or the thoughtfulness of a classmate who posed my daughter's dolphins that I could text at home when I would not make it for bedtime that night. So as you move on, full of excitement about the possibilities of having a hand in the crafting of environments for people, carry with you this intimate understanding that there is an end, not always a predictable one, to the time you're about to spend in a place working with colleagues in a community. Take a note from the military culture, and as you start to run in parallel to this next group of people, do not wait to find out what you have in common. Do not wait to broach the more meaningful subjects. Do not wait to find out what they live for. Ask them. You are in a field at the service of people. Let that light a fire under you. Know that because of all this, you can rise to the occasion. And, most importantly, never jump in line at the plotter. Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. To commemorate the occasion, it is with great pleasure to introduce Frank GEHRY, alumni and Pritzker Prize winner, to offer his remarks to our graduates. After receiving his Bachelor of Architecture degree from USC in 1954, Frank went on to build an illustrious career over the next 6 decades, producing public and private buildings around the world, such as the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain, the Walt Disney Concert Hall here in Los Angeles, the Opus Hong Kong Residential, new works such as the LA River Basin, among many, many other extraordinary projects. But Frank GEHRY must also be defined by his social consciousness. As a founding member of Turnaround Arts, he has linked his passion for building generational diversity into the field with his passion for innovation. We are thrilled to have him join today's program, and I'm pleased now to welcome Frank GEHRY.
Class of 2021, USC Architecture School graduation. I'm honored to wish you well, wish you on your way. I have fond memories of being at USC and my teachers. One important one stood out is Harry Burge. You look him up. He was professional practice, and he stopped me one day in the courtyard at Harris, called and said, "Frank, you got some talent. You're probably going to go somewhere. I want you to promise me one thing, that no matter how small a project you do, I want you to promise that you'll give it your all and make sure it's done with perfection, professionally, so it can be built with no problems. Just follow through on all the details, and no matter how small the project, and that will work well for you in the future. So I give you the same advice, young folks going out into the world. It's changing rapidly always, so you can't predict where it's going to go. But we need good people to make good environments and good spaces for people to live in and work in. And so welcome to the fray.
Frank, thank you very much for those inspiring remarks. I'd like to introduce our Associate Dean for Academic Affairs now, Doug Noble. Doug?
Thank you, Dean Curry. We want to take a brief moment to acknowledge and congratulate this year's Student Award recipients, whose names we're displaying on screen now. This list will be posted to our website as well, so please be sure to review that in more detail. Graduating with honors from the School of Architecture is, I believe, more difficult than any other discipline, as sometimes there is no right answer, and the search for that answer often keeps our students up late at night. Achieving excellence requires extreme discipline. Students receiving honors at the highest level are exemplars of what our students can accomplish. Congratulations to all of you once again.
It is now time to present the graduating students of the USC School of Architecture. I would like to call upon Professor Doris Sung to commence the presentation of the candidates.
Hello, I'm Doris Sung, the Director of Undergraduate Programs, and I'd like to say you finally made it. Who would have ever thought this last year would be done remotely? But you have proven your resilience, perseverance, and grit. We can't wait to see what you do next. It is with great pleasure to present the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Architecture and the Bachelor of Science in Architectural Studies.
Hello, I'm Alvin Huang, the Director of Graduate and Post-Professional Architecture Programs, and I'd like to send my heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2021. You came in being immersed in Rhino, Illustrator, and V-Ray, and now you're leaving with a belly full of Miro, Slack, and Zoom. Despite the challenges of the last year, you made it, and I couldn't be prouder. Not only of all that you've achieved, but perhaps more importantly, also what you have overcome. It is with great pleasure to present the degree candidates for the Master of Advanced Architectural Studies and the Master of Architecture.
Hello, I am Doug Noble, the Director of the Master of Building Science program, and I would like to express my considerable pride in the outstanding accomplishments of the graduating students who have undertaken a serious research program and presented outstanding thesis projects. It is with great pleasure that I present the degree candidates for the Master of Building Science.
Hello, my name is TRUDI SANDMEJER, and I'm the director of the Master of Heritage Conservation program. I'm so pleased and proud to be able to celebrate with our amazing MHC students who've exhibited both excellence and resilience over the past 2 challenging years. It is my great pleasure to present the degree candidates for the Master of Heritage Conservation.
Hello, I am Allison Hirsch, the director of the Master of Landscape Architecture and Urbanism program, and I would like to offer a big congratulations to the class of 2021. Thank you for your perseverance and sustained spirit in the completion of your degree. I look forward to hearing all about your future successes moving forward. It is with great pleasure that we present the degree candidates for the Master of Landscape Architecture.
As we near the end of today's celebration, the School of Architecture faculty would also like to honor this year's resilient class. This group has been at our students' sides for the duration of their journeys at USC, and we are all very proud of their accomplishments. We have a fun surprise video to share with you today.
It's been a long year without you, my friend.
And you'll tell me about it when I see you again.
You've come a long way from where you began.
Oh, you'll tell me all about it when I see you again.
When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the plans you drew.
Good things that we've been through.
That I'd be zooming right here, talking to you
about another path. I know you love to hit the road and laugh.
But something told me that it wouldn't last.
Had to switch up, look at things differently.
Take a picture.
Those were days. Hard work forever pays.
Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got?
Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side.
And now I'm going to be with you for the last ride.
It's been a long year without you, my friend.
And you'll tell me all about it when I see you again.
We've come a long way from where you began.
Oh, you'll tell me all about it when I see you again.
When we see you again. First, you both go out of your way, and the vibe is feeling strong.
And what's small turned into a friendship turned into a bond.
And that bond will never be broken.
And that love will never be lost. And that love will never be lost.
And when friendships come first, then the line will never be crossed.
Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn.
And that line is what we reached. So remember me when you're gone.
How can we not talk about family?
When family's all that we got.
Everything you went through, I was standing there by your side.
Now I'm going to be with you for the last ride.
So let the light guide your way, yeah.
Hold every memory as you go.
And every road you take
will always lead you home, home.
It's been a long year without you, my friend.
And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
we've come a long way from where you began.
Oh, you'll tell me about it when I see you again? When we will see you again?
When I see you again, see you again.
Yeah. When we see you again.
When I see you again, see you again.
Yeah, see you again.
Graduates, you have taken a very important step towards a bright future. I hope that you will keep in touch with us, continue to engage with the school and its efforts, and inspire others that you meet along your journey to aspire to the accomplishments and impact that you have made and will continue to make in the coming years. To the parents and guardians, family, spouses, partners, supporters, friends, and loved ones, thank you for all of your continued support of these graduates. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for the USC School of Architecture celebration of the class of 2021. For those of you who have made reservations, we look forward to seeing you at our in-person commencement at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on Thursday, May 20th at 3:30 p.m. Thank you, and fight on.